tomorrow live. But just you're going to wait for people to pop on. And if they don't, they won't. Hold on, we're telling your followers that you started all this video. Okay.
What's that?
Awkward.
What happened?
Okay, you guys, we're good. All right. You guys can start your questions.
Yeah.
You can say hi.
You have to turn it more
Hold on.
towards Chris.
Well, too much.
Okay, we'll
Too
do
much
Chris
else.
first. So we'll see.
If I do it in the middle.
All right.
There.
Is that good, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Does it keep freezing?
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Norma. I'm one of the nurse practitioners here at Nicole Frontera Beauty.
I'm Chris. I'm another nurse practitioner here at Nicole Frontera Beauty.
So we're just going to read some questions that you guys had. More or less, Chris is one of our hormone nurse practitioners, so he's going to be answering some questions.
All right.
Don't move it, because it's like
I'm
weird
gonna-
when you move it.
I'm going to just put him in the screen for this questions.
Okay.
Do you have your questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'll read the questions that we got, and I'll answer them best I can. So for one, somebody asked, can I benefit from testosterone therapy while in menopause, or will I start them while in perimenopause? So when you come in, people come in to find out what their hormone levels are, or if they have symptoms or specific complaints. And for women, a lot of the complaints start around perimenopause, which can take anywhere from 5 to 8 years. The length of time that takes varies by woman. The average age of menopause in America is 52. So really anywhere in your 40s, people start to get symptoms. But everyone's different. Some people start to slow down at 30, and we know that from the data that testosterone decreases by about 1% a year after 30, and that's a normal course. So really any time after 30 is a good time to come in and get your levels checked, especially if you have symptoms. You don't have to wait till menopause, or you don't have to wait till perimenopause. If you notice you have less energy, you're not sleeping as well, you're carrying more fat and having trouble building muscle, and you're more fatigued when you exercise, and you're not recovering as well as you used to, and those are all reasons to come in and get checked, besides for having a decreased libido, or some of the things that people typically think of when they think of testosterone. So there's a lot of different you don't have to wait till you're menopausal. Menopause is a technical diagnosis based on 12 months without a menstrual cycle, so it's you don't have to wait for that to get started. I hope that answers that question. Next is, how soon after starting pellets will I feel a difference? So pellets is referring to an implant that we use that's basically a time-released hormone. So we put these under your skin in a procedure, and then they release testosterone or estrogen or estradiol slowly over basically a 3 to 4 month period. For most people, they last about 3 to 4 months. How soon after starting will I feel a difference? So for testosterone specifically, the manufacturer will tell you, all of our training material will tell you that it takes about 2 weeks to feel anything, and the peak effect is usually 4 to 6 weeks. So for estradiol, it really takes about 3 days, usually 3 to 5 days to kick in, and then peak effect is again 4 to 6 weeks. So you should feel something at the 2 week mark for testosterone, around 3 to 5 days for estrogen, and it basically gets as good as it's going to get around 4 weeks for most people, 6 weeks for others. Sometimes it gets better the second time you do it, because we kind of pick a dose we think will work the first time, and we don't really know exactly how it's going to go until we check in at 4 weeks or 6 weeks, or we draw blood again at 4 weeks or 6 weeks to see how the blood looks and to check in on symptoms and side effects. So sometimes the second time we make a dose adjustment, we get a better result. So the short answer is 2 weeks to feel anything, 4 weeks to feel really good, and sometimes up to 6 months to really perfect it. Let's see. What else? How does testosterone impact energy levels and muscle recovery? So for both men and women, it kind of follows the same course. When you're doing the pellet implant, you're looking at 2 to 4 weeks to notice a good effect. With different types of hormones, you get different onset times. So let's say you're doing testosterone shots for men. Men like the testosterone injectables. Usually you take 1 injection a week. Some guys take 2 injections a week. They're a little different for different guys, different needs. We basically stick to the pellets, the implants, the time release for women because the side effect profile is so much better. They're much more natural. But yeah, energy-wise, so you start to feel better energy. You sleep deeper starting around the 2-week mark, but so deeper sleep, and when you sleep deeper, you wake up more refreshed. You feel a little bit better. Energy-wise, it's more of a feeling of well-being and not like a caffeine energy, like a stimulant energy. It's a different type of energy. It's more of a feeling of well-being, feeling healthy, like a confidence, like a feeling young. It's that type of energy. And testosterone does that. It's something you make when you're young. It's something you make less of as you get older. So when we recapture better numbers, better levels in the blood, usually that reflects in how you feel. And for muscle, I mean, it's probably the go-to performance enhancer when you're talking about building muscle. And did I get?
I don't know.
Did you lose me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm out.
But only for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Who is this? Requesting to join. That's what's happening. Come on, they're still live. Technical difficulty. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I was just getting to muscle recovery. So muscle recovery, building muscle. I mean, testosterone. Your muscles are full of testosterone receptors, androgen receptors. So it's if it's a good fit for you, if you're a good candidate based on your blood work, based on your symptoms, testosterone is a safe way to build muscle. It's a safe, healthy way to build muscle. Everything has some side effect, so but to build muscle, to recover from a workout, testosterone's fantastic. I love it. I recommend it for anyone who's a good candidate. So yeah, good for muscle recovery. What are the benefits for both men and women of testosterone therapy? So I kind of touched on that a little bit with each. Okay, wait. I think we're back. All right. So we aim for therapeutic levels in the blood, and we aim for a good response with minimal side effect. That's kind of what we try to do. But the goal is to make you feel younger, feel better, feel like your old self. Have more energy, which the energy tends to look like, more self-confidence. More resilience, more better ability to deal with life's problems and curveballs and things. Deeper sleep, definitely people report deeper sleep, waking up more refreshed. Strength, muscular strength is huge. That's one of the earliest benefits, muscular strength. If you go to the gym regularly, you'll notice that you're stronger soon. better performance. Whatever it is that you do, whether it's working out in the gym or playing pickleball or whatever it is you do, you'll notice you're playing better, you're recovering faster, you have less aches and pains. I mean, those are some of the benefits, especially for women. They notice less joint pains, less pain in the knees and the back and the feet and all the things that hurt, especially after workouts or exercise or whatever we do. That's a pretty big one. Sex drive. Everybody knows the libido. Everybody knows erectile function. There's basically four reasons why erections don't work as well as we get older. 4. So one is blood flow. One is the use of drugs or alcohol. One is loss of confidence, psychological. One is low testosterone. So the testosterone itself will address 2 of those. It'll improve your confidence and it'll improve your testosterone level. If you're having a blood flow problem, it's not the fix for that. And if it's because you drink too much or smoke too much or take an SSRI, an antidepressant that affects your erectile quality, it won't help with that. So those are some of the benefits of testosterone for men and women. Mood, it helps mood. So a lot of people think of testosterone and maybe they think of, roid rage, bad temper, that kind of thing, but it really works the opposite. Testosterone is known to be a calming hormone. It helps, they use it in veterans with PTSD because it's been shown to calm the amygdala, which is where the fight or flight response comes from. So it's calming for both men and women in the right dose in a therapeutic range. So that's a pretty good benefit. What happens if I start testosterone therapy and want to stop? So it's a little different. It depends on how long you've been doing it. So the longer you're doing it, the harder it is to come off. Honestly, if you're on it for years, it's, your body stops producing. So if you're not doing anything to mitigate what you produce, especially for men, there are some medications or peptides that can help you to produce your own even while you're taking testosterone. When you replace testosterone, your testicles will stop making testosterone. And so the longer you're on it, the longer it takes for them to kind of awaken and get back to it. So there are medicines, peptides, there are supplements, there are things to do if you want to come off, if it's a fertility issue and you have to come off, if you're having bad side effects, if you're having any side effects, if for any reason, if you can't afford to continue, whatever it is, there's ways to boost your natural testosterone when that time comes. It's not fun coming off, definitely not fun. I mean, if you're on it for a few months and you want to come off, usually it's not a big deal. You can just come off and you'll just kind of go back to where you were before. But if you're on for years, it's uncomfortable. It's not fun. I don't recommend it unless you really have to. I kind of think that when you get started, you should be looking at it as a long-term thing. I don't recommend it. And I guess if you're menopausal and you're just looking to get through the perimenopause and get to the point after that, then the pellets are great for that because they wear off slowly. The implant, it's time release, it wears off slowly, so your body does kind of have time to speed up its own production and get back to where it was, more than the shots, more than the creams that are shorter acting and that kind of, they're a little harder to come off. Let's see. The other question I have is about Avexius pellets in particular, and I'm not really supposed to comment on Avexius because they have their own media and how they do it, but just know that that's the type of pellet implant that we use here at Nicole Frontera Beauty. We use Avexius health products, we use Avexapel pellets, and supplements and things. So we use Pharmaceo, which is the pharmacy that's connected, which is the highest quality pharmacy in the country, very tightly regulated by the FDA. All the products are, exactly what they say they are. That's what they are. There's nothing else in those supplements or bottles, or they are exactly what they say they are. The dose is going to be right on point because they have to be. So that's all I can really say about Abexius without referring you to their own media.
Anything else? Any other questions?
That's everything that I had. So,
All right.
all right.
You're all done.
Thanks for coming, and I hope this helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.